we've been getting a lot of questions, so I thought I would try and answer a few in one big Q&A video. I'm going to keep the answers fairly short so we can get through as many as possible, because there's a lot. And there will be timestamps below, so you can just skip around to whatever you're interested in. Victoria is currently taking a shower, but I'll try and ask her some questions when she gets back. What is the full story of how you two met? So originally my plan was to ride from Southern California and just head south from there through Central and South America. I met Victoria in Big Bear Lake in a hostel there, 2 weeks into that journey. Yeah, and we got on really well, and I rode on a few days later, and we stayed in touch over the next few months as I was riding through Mexico. And then when I got down to Oaxaca in southern Mexico, my friend John asked me to look after his dog Mira while he went back up to Canada to work for a bit. Victoria also happened to be in Oaxaca at the time, so I invited her to join me and look after Mira. So we spent a month together there, and we'd been kind of talking about her joining me, but that was kind of our chance to figure out if we hated each other or not, and if we could survive a trip like this. And after those weeks, we kind of decided that the only natural way forward was to find her a bike and have her come along. And then somewhere in that, we got the idea to start from the top of Alaska instead of just heading south from Oaxaca, and 2 weeks later, we were in Alaska. What were you doing with your life before this journey, like employment and whatnot? In London I was a video editor, so I do have a little bit of experience making videos like these. How to prevent / reduce saddle-induced bum pain. Basically, the only tip I can give is that it gets better with time, so you just kind of have to stick with it. Tea tree oil is very good on saddle sores. Before I started this trip, Louis, a friend of mine, who's probably watching this now, hi Louis, he told me that if I could get used to not wearing padded shorts, then that would be the best thing to do. So that's what I did, and so neither I nor Victoria wear padded shorts, and the first 2 weeks are always very painful, and then after that it gets better. And most other long distance cycle tourists I've met don't wear padded shorts either. I think it's just because they're really hard to keep clean after a few days on the bike. It's just too much work than you get from it. What inspired you to start doing these massive adventures in the first place? So in 2018 I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail, which is, if you don't know, it's a hiking trail that goes all the way from Mexico to Canada. My friend Elena has an incredible video if you want to watch that, to learn a bit more about the PCT and the experience. And towards the end of that trail I just fell in love with living outside and this kind of adventure, and so as soon as I got back to London I just dreamed up the biggest adventure I could imagine. And then I found a guy called Johan's videos, and a lot of you will know Johan. He made the most incredible videos of his trip from Alaska to Argentina on a bike, and they are just the most inspirational videos. He was incredibly adventurous, like a true adventurer. So his videos inspired me a lot, and yeah, I hope that making these videos can continue to be that inspiration for some of you guys maybe. I'm curious how you manage to edit these videos. Do you have a computer with you, and when do you find the time to do it? Yes, I do carry a laptop with me. I'll go and get it. So I keep it in my backpack, which goes on the rear rack of my bike, and then it's in a waterproof bag, and within that waterproof bag it's in a case, like a soft case, and then within that soft case it's in a hard shell case. So there's a lot of protection needed to keep that safe. I know some people edit their videos on their phone, and I think that would drive me mad. And a lot of people edit on iPad, and I think that would also drive me mad. So this is kind of the best solution for me. It's basically whenever we can stop for a bit. So like whenever we take a rest day, sometimes people offer to host us along the way. So normally I can get a few hours of editing in the evenings there. We've done house sitting before, so we did that over Christmas. We were looking after a cat. That was quite a good plan. It's basically whenever we can find time, I'll get a few hours in here and there. But that is definitely the biggest challenge with maintaining a YouTube channel while doing a trip like this, is we're cycling most of the time, so finding time to edit is very, very difficult. So I'm sorry that there's not more consistent videos, but that's just the way it is on a trip like this. How are you finding cycling main highways as you stray further south? Do you anticipate finding more traffic-free routes? Yeah, we definitely don't enjoy cycling on main highways. It's just the traffic can be quite exhausting, so we'll try and find smaller roads whenever we can. But at the moment we've just kind of been forced onto the main roads because we've found ourselves in the middle of winter, which means that we need to stay on roads to avoid snow. Right now we're riding the Pacific coast, but we're trying to find a way to escape as soon as possible, really. We're planning to find a route across from Oregon to Nevada, and then we can do some desert exploring in Nevada, hopefully. That's the plan at least, but we'll see. Are you scared of bears, and do you sleep well during the night? Bears are very scary at first, and then the more you travel in bear territory, you get very comfortable with the idea, and generally encounters with bears are much rarer than you think up in bear territory, as long as you're smart about managing your food at campsites and stuff like that. There's a few questions about bear safety, so I'll just go over quickly what we did to stay safe. The main thing with bear safety in camp is to do with food storage. So all the food, after we're done cooking, we would put in odor-proof bags, which is actually one of these. They're called lock sacks. And we put that odor-proof bag in a bear bag. We sent our bear bags ahead now because we're not in grizzly territory anymore. And then we will tie that bear bag to a tree far away from camp. We'll also cook very far away from camp, so in theory there's no food smells around where we're camping, so a bear shouldn't have any reason to come investigating near where we're sleeping. And then during the day we both carried bear spray. I only had to take the safety off my bear spray once, and you'll see that in the next episode. Basically, a good tip is, in dense bear country you don't want to go too fast down the downhills, because if there's a bear in the road and you need to stop quickly, you won't be able to, and you'll kind of approach a bear, and it's never good to approach a bear. All the time we spent in grizzly territory, we never had any bears coming up to our tent in the night, thankfully. That would have been terrifying. I do have a couple of friends who have had their tents swiped into in the night, which, yeah, that would be absolutely horrifying, and I'm very happy that didn't happen to us. How do you keep your electrical equipment like cameras, etc. charged for long stretches in the middle of nowhere? We just use battery banks. So this is my favourite battery bank. It's like 20,000 milliamps, which will last us like around a week. And we haven't had any stretches longer than that. And then it charges up in like 2.5 hours, so we can just do that in a restaurant or something every now and then. I do like the idea of a solar panel, but we just don't need it yet. Maybe in South America somewhere, I'll pick one of those up. This specific one is Goal Zero. It's a waterproof, rugged one, and it also acts as like a USB hub, so when we're in town we can just plug this in to charge and then have two things charging at the same time, as well as the battery bank. So it's really good. It's a lot beefier than like your average battery pack, but it serves a lot of purposes. And I had another battery pack die on me, and that was when I realised just how important having a reliable battery was, because once you're out of power, like, that's our navigation, that's pretty much everything, like that's how we film it. And so yeah, then I got this beefy one and it hasn't let us down yet. This isn't sponsored, by the way. It's Goal Zero and it's the Venture 75. How do you make it work financially? Like, did you save money for this? And if yes, how long? Yeah, so I was saving money for like 3 years in London, and I was very lucky to be able to move in with my dad. And so I was saving on rent and, yeah, basically just cut all my expenses down to zero. You really don't need as much as you think to do a trip like this, because your only real expenses while you're going are food and that's pretty much it. I mean, you're camping every night. You can splurge on the occasional hotel room and meals in town and whatever, but really your main expense is just food. So most cyclists on tours like this will budget between $10 and $15 a day, and that works out to between like $3,500 and $5,000 a year. With that being said, Alaska and Canada were a lot more expensive than we were expecting, so those savings were depleted pretty quickly, and now we're very lucky to be supported on Patreon by a bunch of you guys, so thank you very much for that. And there's a couple of other little ways that we're trying to make money along the way as well. Victoria does little paintings on postcards, and she'll sell them outside grocery stores. Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. Yeah, I remember seeing Johan answer a question like this, and he said that he had $5,000 when he started from the top of Canada. And when I heard that, it was like, okay, there's no excuses. You can just go for it and make it up as you go along. And if you're really committed, you'll find a way to make it work. I have met a guy that was doing this on between $1 and $3 a day. So if you're resourceful, you can do it very, very cheaply. Is the bike a single speed? If so, is it not difficult? No, it looks like a single speed, but it's actually an internal gear hub in the back. So it's called a roll-off, and it's got 14 speeds, and the maintenance is pretty much as a single speed, so I really don't have to do anything day to day other than just keep the chain clean. And I love it. It's completely sealed off from the elements, so mud or sand or anything, it can't get in there, and you just don't have a vulnerable derailleur to worry about or anything like that. It's just kind of bomb-proof and rock solid. How did you get into bikepacking, and how did you start? So I had a lot of experience already with like hiking and backpacking from the PCT. So basically it was just adding a bike to that equation. My first experience bikepacking was when I first set off from Southern California going down into Mexico, and luckily it all worked out. It's very similar to backpacking if you have any experience with that. Just to add this in while I'm editing, on the maintenance side, I had no idea what I was doing when I first started, and I just downloaded a bunch of maintenance videos on YouTube offline so that if anything went wrong, I would hopefully have a video that explained how to fix it. That's one of the reasons I chose the bike I did, because the maintenance on my bike is very minimal because it's got that internal rear hub. So there's not really much that can go wrong, and not much has gone wrong, thankfully. But yeah, now a year after starting, I think my maintenance is okay. I can do most basic things, but if there's anything complicated like replacing a cable housing or whatever, I'll just find a bike shop and take it to there. How many miles a day do you do? We don't really keep too much track of it, and we take it very easily. If I was to guess, most days we probably do around like 35-40 miles. We'd like to take it very easy and take a lot of breaks and just enjoy it rather than pushing ourselves. I know there's some people that really enjoy just pushing like 100-150 miles a day, and I would not enjoy that at all. Any technical information about route planning? Route planning, we just kind of make it up as we go along. We use an app called Mapout, which is a really great, simple maps application. And my favorite thing about it is that you're not paying a subscription, it's just like a one-time fee. And it's just really easy to just draw routes. We just look for the smallest little roads we can find and just draw a little route on there. Do you plan on biking the Pacific Coast Highway to Mexico? We're on the Pacific Coast Highway now, but we're planning to cut across to Nevada as soon as possible so we can get out in the desert and do some exploring. What is your gear list? I have put together a full gear list which is linked in the description of this video, and I will do a gear video at some point. What do you do in your downtime? Read, write, play cards. Downtime while not camping, I'm pretty much just editing. Victoria's normally making art. She likes watercolors and that kind of thing. And then when we're in the tent, we both have Kindles, which we really love. It's nice to just have one thing that has its own light built in, so you don't need to wear your headlamp to read it in the night. Yeah, and you can just download as many books as you want. It's nice to have. Do you feel like you're getting stronger throughout the trip, or is the fitness level plateaued? I think you definitely reach a plateau after like a month or so. It kind of gets to the point where you can cycle a day and it's not tiring at all, which is a nice place to get to. How physically intensive would you say long cycling trips like this are? Achievable by a novice cyclist willing to put in the work, or only seasoned cyclists that have been doing this stuff for years? I don't really think you need much experience at all to start a trip like this. I think if you just start slow, like 20 miles a day or whatever, and just carry lots of food and water, then your body will get used to it. With Victoria in Fairbanks, she hadn't ridden a bike seriously since she was 11, so we just spent 2 weeks going on little test rides and slowly putting more weight on her bike, and we said that as soon as she could do 3 30-mile days in a row and still feel good on the 4th day, then she was ready for the Dalton Highway. So maybe that's a good level of fitness to work towards. Because yeah, she absolutely rocked the Dalton Highway, she had no problems at all. What's the plan for the Darien Gap? This is our most frequently asked question. For those of you who don't know, the Darien Gap is the name of the area between Panama and Colombia. It's a thick jungle infested with endless poisonous things and has become a hub for drug trafficking, armed guerrilla groups and human smuggling. Because of this, it's well known as one of the most dangerous places in the world. There are no roads which pass through, which means that unless you want to put your life at significant risk and attempt to travel through on foot, you need to find a way around. Most cycle tourists will get a boat around from Panama to Colombia, and will probably end up doing the same. I know Johan paddled it himself in a pack raft, which is just outrageous. That is an incredible video, I'll link it below if you want to watch that. And I've read blog posts of other guys who have bought a canoe in Panama and then canoed to Colombia. So those are very nice ideas, but you know, who knows? It's very far in the future, and we tend not to plan more than like a week ahead, so who knows what we'll do. How heavy is your bike with all the luggage? We don't know, we've never actually weighed them, and to be honest, I don't really want to know, so I probably never will weigh my bike. I'd love to know what you first packed but you've never used. I've been carrying these flip-flops. Since the very top of Alaska. I used them a lot in Mexico, and I haven't used them once so far just because it's been too cold. I intended to send them ahead, but we don't know where we're going yet. We kind of make it up as we go along, so I don't know who to send them to. So for now I'm just carrying them, and hopefully soon I'll be able to use them once more. How do you decide where to set up camp each night? That's another thing we kind of make up as we go along. We normally don't know where we're going to camp until like half an hour before we actually need to camp. Sometimes you can look at a topographical map and look for flat areas that there's not many roads around, or look for little trails that go off. But yeah, you develop kind of a knack for finding little spots tucked away. If we ever can't find a spot, normally what we do is we look for the friendliest looking house and we just ask them to camp in their yard. And 9 times out of 10, they're very happy for us to do that. And sometimes they'll even bring you dinner or invite you in and give you a nice warm bed for the night. I have questions for you. Do you want to answer them?
Sí.
Why did you decide to do this?
Well, for me, I feel it's been very important, and it's been in my philosophy of life of just saying yes to opportunities. So it's like I never dreamed about this. I never anything. It's like I have always dreamed on traveling the world. It's always been my dream, and then I started doing that as a volunteer, and then we met, and then Greg was already cycling, and then we met again, and everything started happening. So it was like, well, you cannot say no to these opportunities.
Yeah.
Like Daniel from Tumbleweed gave us a bicycle, lended us a bicycle, and then everything just started to get in the perfect place for us to do it. And then Greg has an amazing idea of starting from Alaska, and it was like, it was never part of the plan, but that's what I like not planning and just saying yes to this kind of opportunities that just comes to you and everything gets in place.
Well said. What were you doing in your life before this?
I was traveling as a volunteer in an application named World Packers. I was volunteering in hostels mostly, exchanging work for food and accommodation. And well, first I went to California. That's where we met. I was around San Francisco, Big Bear Lake, Joshua Tree. Then I went down to Mexico around Puebla, Oaxaca, Puerto Escondido, where we met again.
How do you find cycling on main highways?
Oh, I hate it. It's horrible.
It's not good.
It's not good at all. Yeah, don't do it.
Are you scared of the bears? And do you sleep well during the night?
I sleep very well during the night. I think it's better because I know we are together, so it's like we both have our backs. But sometimes it's like if I hear something, it's like, whoa, what is that?
Did Victoria cycle as a hobby before she met you?
No,
How much had you cycled before you met me?
nothing. Well, it was when I was very young, maybe like 12 years old. But I've never been into cycling. I used to run, so it wasn't too bad for me, the amount of exercise, but cycling, I like it now. I like it.
That's good.
Now I'm a cyclist, officially.
What do you do when I'm editing?
I love working in art. I like doing watercolors, drawing, and also I love doing yoga. I enjoy it so much. So that's two of the things that I like to do the most. And other times it's just chilling, just doing nothing, watch movies. What else? Yeah. Reading. I love reading too. Yeah, but practically those things.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're getting stronger throughout the trip, or has your fitness level kind of...
Oh yeah, I'm getting stronger, absolutely.
So strong.
So strong. Also, I feel mostly mentally too, because in that time when you are cycling, really you have lots of time to think. Mostly it's you and your mind. So it's like you kind of decide what are you gonna think, what are you gonna plan, whatever you want to do, right? So it's like I try to just look around and enjoy the view, because it's very easy to get lost. It's very easy to just be like, what I'm gonna do tomorrow, and what I'm gonna do with this, and what instead of, whoa, I'm here, you know.
Yeah. What do your family think about the trip, and do you plan on meeting them anywhere along the route?
I would say that all of them think that I'm crazy. They told me at the beginning, but now they are more, I would say, proud. They are always telling me like, oh yeah, wow, oh my gosh, like for them to see the amount of time we've been doing this and the amount of kilometers, it's like, whoa. Yeah, at the beginning my mom was like, no, please don't do it, don't tell me this. But yeah, after a bit she was okay. I told her that, well, we were gonna be together and then we were gonna have a tracker, so it was like, well, she was much better with that. Yeah, now they don't even talk to me that much. At the beginning they were like, where are you and what, how is it going, send pictures, send videos, and now it's like but especially I want to go through Chihuahua, and I have a nephew to meet. I have mostly all of them there, my dad, my mom, my siblings.
Great answers.
Great questions.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
Thanks everyone for the great questions. If you have any more questions, you can just leave a comment below and I'll try and reply in the comments. And also we both reply to all of our Instagram messages, so if you're not getting a response quickly on YouTube, that's the best way to go. Yeah, I hope this was helpful, and thank you very much for watching all of our videos. We definitely weren't expecting to have this much support so quickly, so yeah, we're very excited about it and excited to show you our journey moving forward.